I'm going to show you a profitable system for football betting, but there is a problem. It's boring, and it is so boringly profitable that most people actually end up ignoring it. If you want to see what this boringly profitable system is, then go grab a nice cold beer and let's get into it. So this is the way most people bet on football, and there's actually nothing wrong with this. You research every match individually, you look at team news, you look at injuries, you consider motivation, you look at the recent form, you look at some player props and player statistics, you look at the over and under on cards. You're basically looking for value that the market has missed. You might be betting in different odds ranges and going for the odd long shot, etc. As said, look, there's nothing wrong with this at all, and it can be quite an exciting, engaging, fun way of betting on football. This is the analysis based approach, and doing this you can uncover the odd hidden gem and the odd hidden value in the market, and then you do feel very, very satisfied when that bet does land and it's a winner. So that's great, right? As said, nothing wrong with this approach. Now, some of the cons with it is that, look, time consuming, emotion and bias can creep in, it's difficult to scale. But this is the more common approach, and as said, it's a little bit more exciting, a little bit more engaging, a little bit more interesting. Now, here's the boring approach that I just mentioned, that I said I was going to show you in this video. The boring approach is mechanical system betting, okay? This is where you follow predefined rules. There's no match-by-match opinions. You're not going to do any sort of additional research. You just trust the historical edge, and you're letting the process make the decision. So a typical boring approach could be a system you've got where it's back home teams, odds between 2.0, 3.0, league filter applied, maybe another filter. It triggers a bet. You place the bet. Okay? So that is the boring approach. It's predictable, it's repetitive, it's boring. But boring is much more likely to win long term, isn't it? If you're going to go match by match as an analyst, analyzing each match, as said, you can be profitable with that. We're not saying that you can't be. However, for most people, unless you've got a serious talent for being a football market analyst, you're probably better off going for a boring approach. But of course, people will ignore the boring approach because it's boring, because it is just, hey, we've got our system, place your bet, walk away. There's no researching, there's no watching the match either, or at least you shouldn't be watching the match. You've pretty much placed the bets and then you walk on. So anyway, you might be thinking, well, okay, I wouldn't quite mind having one of these boring systems. Where do I find them? I'm going to show you right now how you can create and find your own boring betting system. So in the spirit of finding a boringly profitable system, I'm going to try and find a system on the Czech First League, which I assume is the top flight in the Czech Republic. And I'm also going to find a system for under 2.5 goals. So you probably can't get any more boring than that, okay? If I was to tell you I've got a great system for the Czech League backing under 2.5 goals, then yeah, it doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But anyway, let me quickly show you how this can work. We just type in the over 2.5 goals price because we're just trying to find an edge in the prices. So if we type in a minimum of 1.5 on over 2.5 goals and a maximum of 2.5, we can quickly see, okay, it's been updated. Okay, so we're trying to back under 2.5 goals. So we would shorten the price range to probably 1.65, and we would leave it at the other end. And let's see what that does. And I would say that's pretty much good to go. Okay, that's pretty much it. So our profitable system, which would have made £2,351 last season in the Czech League, would have just been go to the Czech League, look for an over 2.5 goals price between 1.65 and 2.5. And then if you find that price, you back under 2.5 goals. Okay, just to be clear, you would back the under side of the market. But it would be as simple as that. You saw that that took me 1 minute to find that system. And it is as simple as finding these systems. They're extremely boring. The Czech League, I'm pretty confident you've never watched a match in the Czech League. and it probably wouldn't be top of your mind to have a bet on a Saturday morning. But these are the boringly profitable systems that win. Now, for the eagle-eyed, you might notice that I've only looked at last season. So this was a profitable system last season. Ideally, if you're going to follow it, you would want to see that this system is more profitable in the longer term. We're not going to look at that on YouTube because we're not going to give away any profitable systems on YouTube. This is going to be for the members only, the members who have these tools, because an edge shared is an edge halved, or an edge shared on YouTube is an edge absolutely destroyed. But that's what you would be looking for. You would find a system which has been profitable in the long term, say 4 or 5 years in a row, and you would just follow it, okay? There is no further research required. You wouldn't look at the recent team's form. You wouldn't be trying to research and try and find out if their left back is carrying a strained hamstring or not, okay? It's nothing like that. And unless you're a true football expert, mechanical, boring systems like this are probably your best bet if you want to succeed long-term in football. And just to show you, with these tools, you can build boring systems for all these leagues. And we've got it for all the leagues going all the way up to the Premier League also. And so as said, the boring approach is predictable, it's repetitive, it's boring, but boring is what wins long term. And by the way, you're not just going to have one system, you're going to have a whole bunch of these systems. And this is exactly what we show you to do within the Power Systems program. So instead of spending hours every weekend trying to work out who might win each individual match, Power Systems is built around helping you create and then follow proven mechanical betting systems that are tested, refined, designed to remove as much guesswork as possible from the betting process. Ultimately, the goal isn't to become a football expert, it's to become a profitable bettor. They are two very different things. And if this approach interests you and you want to get involved with Power Systems next time it opens, click the link in the description to learn more about it. And let me show you this. If you were wondering just what leagues are included within the Power Systems and what leagues you can build some boring systems for some boring leagues, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to disrespect anybody, but you can already look at that list, and there's a few leagues in there which are incredibly boring, aren't they? I doubt you would be watching them, but that's no reason why you can't profit from them. So anyway, as said, the idea is that you would build one system. You would have your Czech first league system for under 2.5 goals. You could have an Iceland system for over 1.5 goals. You could have a back the draw system in the Swedish Superettan, okay? That's the idea. You're going to build a bunch of systems, have a whole portfolio, and have them making money for you through the season. But the key is with Power Systems that it is going to teach you the exact process of actually picking out your systems, what to look for, how to operate them also, because not everyone is clued up on that. So that is how you can profit in the long term with boring systems. And if you want to learn a little bit more about it, a little bit more about the process that is involved with these systems, then the video on the screen is going to show you more about that right now. So I strongly suggest your next step is to click that video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next video.